Intel apologizes to China for following U.S. sanctions targeting Xinjiang genocide. Intel said it didn't intend to make a political statement. Well, Intel here is showing their real backbone and their real moral center here. It's fantastic. Let's read on. This is from The Verge. Intel has issued an apology to partners and customers in China after it told local suppliers it would not be using labor or goods sourced from the country's Xinjiang region. The company has deleted the statement that resulted in the original backlash. International trade with Xinjiang is restricted by numerous government agencies, including the U.S., over Chinese treatment of the region's minority Muslim Uyghur population. Earlier this month, the U.S. passed a ban on imports from Xinjiang unless companies can prove that goods have been created without the use of forced labor. The U.S. government has described the repression of minority Muslim Uyghurs in Xinjiang as genocide. Unless the companies can prove the goods have been created without the use of forced labor, that's like giving federal funding to Planned Parenthood as long as they don't use it for abortions, right? Oh no, we won't. How exactly? Yeah. In its annual letter to suppliers, Intel said it was, quote, required to follow restrictions on Xinjiang trade imposed by multiple governments and would, quote, ensure our supply chain does not use any labor or source goods or services from the Xinjiang region. That portion of the letter has now been removed from Intel's website, but an archived version can be found here. This normally procedural note caused a backlash in China. The letter went viral on Chinese social media, leading Chinese pop star Carrie Wang, a former Intel ambassador, to cut ties with the firm. So, did this? I think we know the answer to this. Did this organically go viral in China, or was this, propped up by state media everywhere to create an outcry? National interest exceeds everything except human rights, said Wang on social media, while nationalist outlet Global Times accused Intel of, quote, biting the hand that feeds it. Well, you wouldn't want to do that, so as long as you're getting stacks of cash from China, stay in line. The Chinese market is responsible for a quarter of Intel's global revenue, or around $20 billion. The company also employs more than 10,000 people in China. New York Times investigation 2020 found that chips made by Intel were being used to power supercomputers deployed by the Chinese government for Uyghur surveillance. Yeah, so if you're okay with that, so if you go here, I apparently, so I read this article on my phone, but loading it on the website, it's going to ask me for a subscription here in a minute, which of course I don't have. But I would recommend reading it. It's a little bit long, but it's very good, and it talks all about the way technology is used to spy on these people, keep track of everything they do, where they go. It's very creepy, very creepy. So I would recommend reading that. Try using your phone to read it on. That worked for me. In response to this backlash, Intel apologized on social media sites on Wednesday in a letter addressed to the Chinese public and local partners. Intel said it was limiting trade with Xinjiang only as a legal formality and not a political statement. Well, we wouldn't want to make political statements about human rights abuses. We wouldn't want to do that. Quote, we apologize if for the letter caused to our respected Chinese customers, partners, and the public, said the letter. To clarify, the paragraph about Xinjiang in the letter is only for expressing the original intention of compliance and legality, not for its intention or position. Asked to comment on the letter, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said that, quote, American companies should never feel the need to apologize for standing up for fundamental human rights or opposing repression. I wholeheartedly agree. Psaki did not comment directly on Intel, but said, I can say as a general matter that we believe the private sector and the international community should oppose the PRC's weaponizing of its market to stifle support for human rights. It's doing a lot more than that, but yes. Intel's trouble is the latest example of U.S. tech firms being squeezed on both sides by the demands of the U.S. and Chinese governments. There are numerous examples of U.S. companies complying with intrusive Chinese orders in order to retain business in the country. One example is, we covered this last week, Microsoft disabling autocomplete in their Bing search in China. These vary from the significant, like Apple's storing data on servers run by Chinese state-owned firm. What could go wrong? Oh, don't worry though. Your data with Apple is secure, it's safe, it's private. Don't worry about it. To the absurd, like Amazon deleting all reviews under 5 stars for Chinese President Xi Jinping's book. Intell's so apparently if you rated uh, Xi Jinping's book anything less than 5 stars, your review got deleted by Amazon. So there you go. Intell's apology uh, for following U.S. law will not be the last example of these pressures leading to hypocritical behavior. Well, there you go. There's Intel showing their true colors, but nobody's surprised here. So maybe that will inform your next purchasing decision. Maybe not, but at least now you know. So that's what we've got for you today. Hope you had a great Christmas. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you later.